Welcome to another Project Life video in the daily video series at 2 Peas in a Bucket. I'm Marcy Penner and I'm assigned Project Life for you guys. So the week I've been working on is week 24. I have a planner that fits in my day planner and I'm very behind. So what I do to catch up is I actually do go and print everything and put them in the pockets in my album. So I am pretty much caught up with photos, but they're not at all journaled or embellished or anything. So that is where I'm going to leave off today. So I started by printing out my photos, and I'm going to put them on here how I had them in my planner. They probably won't stay that way, they'll get moved around, but I'll just start like this way. This photo, because it's a nice portrait and he's centered, I'm probably not going to do much to this one, I don't think. But this one here has a lot of space here that I'm going to fill up. So I'm going to start by working on that one. And what I did was, I pulled this Dear Lizzie, it would be the Lucky Charm collection with the little stickers. And I was hoping to find something that would fit in there. I have 3 kids, but my sons are younger, so they are in a lot more of the photos than my daughter is. So when I can use something girly, I will. Okay. So I'm going to use this one. Now I haven't used these before, so I'm curious if they're stickers. They are. Okay, so I'm going to peel this one off. And I'm not going to stick it on the photo because more often than not I do that and I wreck something. So I'm going to stick it onto a piece of cardstock. And I'm just going to trim around it, and then I can move it around as I want to. Now I realize this isn't at all girly, but that's alright. Okay, so I think I'm going to stick that on the side, and then I have this heart, Brad. This is one of those photos that doesn't have or require a lot of journaling. It's just a random photo. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to pop this through, but I'm going to take it out later on because I will be sewing. I think I'm going to sew and underline the text with my sewing machine, and that's going to be in the way. So I'm going to put it in for now, but I will probably take that out. So because I am behind, simple is good, and this is plenty for that one. So I'm going to move on to this one. We live on a farm and have some cows that come to us every spring. So what I did was I pulled some cow farm type items. So I have the dairy tag from, or it's a little ticket, I guess, from an October afternoon miscellany pack. These aren't dairy cows, but that's fine with me. It's close enough. And I have a wood veneer, and again, a dairy cow flare from October afternoon, and a Brad from the Farm Girl line from October afternoon. So I'm going to put this up here. It's a fine photo on its own, but this was just the first day that they came back. So I did want to just do a tiny, tiny bit of journaling for that. So I'll do that on this. This was just snipped off of Basic Gray hipster little snippets pack. So you get all kinds of little journaling spots and accents and stuff. So this one just came right off of there. So I know this is going on for sure, so I'm going to glue that down. I don't have a color scheme or anything in mind as I go. Just kind of is what it is. Okay, and these are the colored Aero paper clips from, they're 2 Piece exclusives in the shop. And they just added some stars, which I'm hoping to add to my stash soon. Okay, so I think I'm just playing around and moving stuff around. I I do love this cow a lot, but it is quite large, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it work, but I think he'll be fine right there. So I'm just going to glue him down. And I will just do some writing in there. And probably sew that down as well. Okay, so we're not using those. We'll put those aside. Okay, so this one is a journaling card from the Hello Forever New Printables in the Shop. And I have a photo that will fit and still allow me to write a little bit underneath there. So again, not a ton of journaling that I needed for this photo, but maybe just enough for the date is all I really need there. And I'll do some sewing. I went through the two-piece shop, through the cut files, and I'm not having a love-hate relationship with my Cameo. I'm just having a I don't have time to cut things relationship with my Cameo. So I made a conscious effort to go through the shop, and I found this, and I don't know if this is going to show up. Maybe it'll show up if I put it on the, well, maybe that's probably worse. Okay, let me take a piece of pattern paper. This is a Good Stuff cut file. Yeah, that doesn't work. From the two-piece shop, sorry. And I have never reused my Cameo to cut vellum out, so I did this time and it worked out great. I will put the settings I used in the description. And my challenge for you today is to actually use vellum on your projects. Whether you have, you punch snowflakes or flowers or whatever, or print your photo on vellum, anything, it's fine. I'm going to be using this card. My intention is to have it just be a transparent little pocket. So it'll go in the pocket and it'll sit there by itself. Now, the only problem with this is when this page is turned over, it's going to be backwards on that page. I think I'm going to be okay with that. If I'm not, and it really, really annoys me, then what I'll end up doing is I probably will just put a piece of paper behind it as a backing. But I'm going to try it as just a transparent window, and you'll have to wait and see for the final project if it drives me insane or not. But so I have that, which is for the vellum challenge today. So I had that here initially. I think I'm going to move it maybe more to the center a little bit. But that is all that is. And there's another photo that has a lot happening, but it has a story explaining why my boys are just standing and staring at each other in the middle of the grocery store. So they're actually picking some Marvel-themed plastic cups, and they couldn't decide, so they're holding them behind their backs, and they're picking that way. So without that little description, this would kind of be a weird photo, I suppose. So I have a little October afternoon tidbit. It just has a little bit of room for journaling, and that's all I'm going to try to do. I may type on it because the typing often takes up less space than my handwriting does. So now let's see. These two go together. So what I have is a group of us used to get together and scrapbook every Thursday, and as we had more kids and got busier with things, that stopped. So we're trying to do it once a month now. So this is a photo of a little kind of buffet table of embellishments I made for our first night back. So I was looking through my stash for something that had party on it. I thought that might work well with it, and I couldn't find anything exactly what I was looking for, but I found this in, again, an October Afternoon Miscellany pack, I think the Cakewalk collection. And I want to just try to use the Now for the Fun part, and I'm hoping that it can just kind of tuck behind there somewhere. So I chose to go kind of with the party idea. I chose this pattern paper from, I believe it's the Here and There Studio Calico collection, and this one is smaller scale because I just took it from the 6x6 pad. I could have used a sheet from the 12x12 pattern paper sizes, but the circles would be very large. And I thought this way more of them would show up. So it had a lot of color, and I thought it went well with kind of the party thing. So that is my background. And this is a little sign that my boys made to prop up beside all these things to welcome the ladies. So these two kind of go together. And I could treat them as one in a 4x6 pocket, but I had all my 4x6 pockets spoken for, so I'm going to use this arrow on this one to kind of unify the two. That's the plan anyway. Okay, so I will trim this piece. Would be great for using a scrap to just punch out stars or whatever, so I'll hold on to that. I might use that yet. Okay, so I do want to do a little bit of journaling just to explain what this is. And I think I will try to see if I have a label that would fit there. If not, I will just probably type it on little strips. I think this one will work out. This is from the, not this one, sorry. This was from the Travel Girl, the October Afternoon. I love, 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 love the color scheme of that one. So again, I'm going to stick it on cardstock so I don't mess anything up too badly. And I don't stick them down really hard because then I can kind of peel them back a little bit and get under it with my scissor a little bit. So if you would look behind, there still is some sticky parts on the edges, which is kind of nice for when you lay it down. It does stick a little bit until you're sure. So we'll go ahead and we'll put these together. And it does say date on it, and I'll probably stamp the date in the corner, but I'm going to try to do a little bit of journaling on there as well. Okay, and this will just glue down. This is actually the back of a, I want to say 9 to 5 from October Afternoon. And it's their packaging that was for their tidbits, but it's got a great little ledger print, and I'm not going to journal directly on it. If I would be sure to use a slick writer or run it through my typewriter, something that would not smear or mess that up at all. I like having something on the bulk of one half and then on the other part just have one little embellishment, and I'm going to repeat that on this one, I think, once I get that far. So I'll stitch across that later, and that maybe I'll use my tiny attacher. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, moving along. Okay, I'm obsessed with eating peas in the summer. So what I knew I wouldn't have, well, I didn't think I would have something pea related, so I looked for farm, but I actually did find a green peas flashcard from October Afternoon. Now, if I would have found this before I planned anything, I probably would have done something like this in a 4x6 pocket, but I didn't, and I had this photo in a 3x4 pocket already, so I'm not going to be able to take advantage of this card as much as I would like. So I'm trying to see how I can work that in. I have a piece of green, very monochromatic little dot paper from Studio Calico again. So I'm going to use that to kind of reinforce the green. And I actually like how that's the same green as the grass. And I kind of have a little triangle going on here. So I'm just going to hold off on this one. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with that card yet. So I'm just going to leave that for now. Here's some more green. I'm going to make sure once I'm done everything that all these green ones are spaced out properly, because it's an odd color to work with. It might be a little distracting. So I have this Fun in the Sunshine die cut from the Pure collection, and I have this little, well, it's a freckled fawn. It's the little dewdrops. It's the blue kind of bursts, but it kind of looked like a water splash to me. And this photo is my son playing with a new sprinkler, so I thought I didn't need a lot of journaling on this one either. Just a couple little embellishments. So I think I'm going to run it down the side. And again, I'll come back to that and stitch it down. Yeah, this is definitely going to be in the way. Okay, so I'm just going to place that here for now. I'll sew down this strip first, and then I'll add that after the fact. So we'll leave that. Let's do this one. 2 Ps now has the Project Life kits in the shop. This is a card from the Jade collection, and I purchased the Midnight in the Jade collection. The Midnight was a very, well, let me see. Here's a card from the Midnight collection. It's black and yellow, and I thought it was a perfect neutral to have. And then the Jade, which you can't tell from this card, but it has a bunch of kind of rainbow colors. So for a pop, I thought the two went very well together. And the papers are, I think, on their way to me, I hope. And those are awesome as well. So I'm just dipping into it now for the first time. So I'm going to use this one, which is kind of a little ledger print, and I thought it went well with this photo of my son playing at his dad's office there. So I'm going to use that and this label from October Afternoon Miscellany Pack, and then I dug through my brads looking for office stuff. I was looking for the 9 to 5 brads from October Afternoon, but I couldn't actually find them. I think I maybe have them organized somewhere else. But I found this little telephone brad. I'm sure it's from My Mind's Eye, but I'll double check that. And I thought it kind of went well with the office theme, so I think I'm going to have them at, yeah, because the words are at the top, and I want to cover that. This story, I don't really have a huge story, so yeah, I'll use that at the bottom. Yeah, and I think just like that. There's really no grand plan for me, which I'm totally cool with. Okay, and again, this is something I'm going to add later because I'll stitch this down, and that will be in the way otherwise. I think I'm going to move this guy closer to the middle. Okay, my last 3x4 pocket, I trimmed black and white paper from the Crate DIY collection. It's smaller scale again because it came from the 6x6 paper pad. So that, and my boys are obsessed with little Lego accessories, so they've been saving for a very long time to buy them some guns for their policemen. So that, because it had the black, it was so much black and white, I thought the black and white paper would be kind of cool. And I have a tag that I want to use on there somewhere, and then I also grabbed 2 stamps from the stamp set from the Travel Girl, the October Afternoon Travel Girl. So I was looking for kind of mail themed items because it came to them in the mail, and Happy Mail is always awesome. So I saw the Parcel Post and the Fragile Don't Crush. So I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with them at the moment. So I'm going to come back to that one as well. So I've got 2. Okay. Again, I'm pulling in a little bit of the kind of pinky colors just because I don't get to do that a lot. So I have a photo of my daughter at track and field, and then I pulled a couple things. I have a thumbs up flag from Basic Gray, the knee highs and bow ties, and I've used these a lot. I believe I used one on my last video as well. And then I have these, which I'm going to have to double check. I throw all my die cuts together, so it's not very helpful, but I'm guessing Pier or Maggie Holmes. So these number related items kind of reminded me of the numbers that the runners wear. So I'm going to try to incorporate either of those. And then I also have a little freckled fawn cloud that says fly. So that's what I'm going to try to work with, and I have a stamp as well, so we'll see where this ends up. Okay, the stamp that I'm working with, and I left the packaging over here, is the Alison Craft for Webster's Pages stamp, and I have, this one actually has 2 in it. It has the little library card stamp and then a little hello circle, so it doesn't cover the whole size. So I'm going to, I think, stamp this just with black. Let's try that. And although black is very severe. Okay, wait, I'm going to try gray. And I'm hoping to, I haven't actually stamped it out yet to see what it looks like. So you're with me here. I'm not a good stamper, truth be told. I will never, ever, ever, I'm sure, ever teach a stamping class. Because really, there would be no point. Okay, so hopefully this works alright with my limited skills. That'll do. Okay. So I'm just going to trim that out. I'm just going to eyeball it. You could certainly run it through a trimmer or measure it off or whatever you want to do, but I'm cool with just eyeballing, so we'll do that. Okay, and I have obviously this, which, I mean, I could leave, it'd be totally fine, but I'm not covering up anything if I put it here. So this one, I'm afraid, against the pink is going to look a little too muddy. But, oh, actually, if I put it over the photo, then it doesn't really compete with that pink at all, and I kind of like that. Okay, I want to save this side for something else down the road, I'm sure, so instead of wasting this whole thing, I'm just going to cut it in half. And again, I'll find out exactly which company this came from yet. So I'm just moving things around. Okay, I think I'm gonna, so I think my last video it didn't come out as nicely, but I usually don't use them as actual flags, so I either twist this off and remove it, or if that doesn't work, which I don't believe my last one did, then I'll just go and I'll trim that off. I have an easier time working with something that's a little less, not themed, but it's a little less specific than that. So I think I'll use this somewhere here. So I'll glue these down before I change my mind. Otherwise I could be here forever. Try to slide that underneath. They didn't have numbers, obviously, but yeah, I'm not entirely sure about that one. I may leave that out. Okay, so these we're not sure. Well, that we're not sure. This we're not. Okay. So I will move on from that for a little while. I tend to get most everything, like probably 80% done, and then I go back and I see what I need to add or what's missing. So for this photo, my son got a used bike that was like 8 sizes too small, but they seem to really, really love tiny bikes. So that's all this photo is. And again, what I did here, I'm going to repeat here. So I have this bike. I used the wood print because of all the trees and the wood, and obviously the bike is that. So I'm going to leave that at the top and probably incorporate my journaling onto here. I was looking through, I have a bowl where I keep all my little October afternoon tidbits, and so I was looking through there, and I saw these little kind of speech bubbles, and you can flip them over, and they're plain on the back, so you can use them for anything you want. The only problem was when I did that, my speech bubble went to that side, and I wanted it to go into my pocket a little bit, and the green obviously was not a good choice. So the only one that I had in my stash was this red one, which isn't exactly like the right theme, but I mean, I think it's fine because I don't want to use it that way and come off. Worst case scenario, it's an easy shape. I could just trim that myself, but I think I'm going to have that there. He does get quite a bit lost in this photo. Anything with leaves and woods, I find always is such a busy photo. So it kind of helps point him out a little bit as well. So I think we're going to do that. Now I'm just going to have to, after I'm done here, I'm going to have to take and back these both on a 4x6 index card just so that they don't kind of slosh around in the pockets, but I will do that at a later point. Okay, this spike is awfully skinny. Normally I just use my normal adhesive to adhere the veneer, but I don't know if I'll actually hit any of the bike that way. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue with a glue pen, and hopefully that'll be enough. If it's not, I will stitch through that. Oops. Thankfully the glue dries clear. Thank goodness. Oops. Now I'm sticky. Okay. I will consider moving these over just because the same kind of, these two are very, very similar. So what I might do is, once everything is done, I might switch pockets so that these two are further apart. But again, like I said, I get things mostly done and then I rearrange and add little bits. Okay, so here's a photo of two people caught napping on my couch. And again, they take up most of the photos. I don't have a lot of room for an embellishment, but I wanted to say something. So I took this little tab from the, it's from the same printable set as that journaling card from Hello Forever. And I'm just going to take that and this strip that is in that same set, and I think I'm going to lay it on the side just like I did here, and I'm just going to journal in there. So this is something I didn't notice before. I have a vertical piece here, a vertical piece here, and a vertical piece here. I don't like that. So I'm going to be doing some shifting later. Okay, you've been warned. Okay, so I'm just going to glue these down. Okay, that kind of bugs me a little bit, so, well, what I might do there is add some messy stitching to kind of these, I don't like things lined up, but it looks weird. Anyway, I can't explain it. So let's see what I do with that one. I might change that one too. So for the last pocket, I have these two photos. Yeah, I have boys and dogs and things. So these are two photos that are totally being photobombed. This one's being photobombed by my littlest and my dogs, and this one, my oldest boy, is like riding one of my dogs. So I guess when you're a Doberman boxer, you get kind of used to that kind of treatment. Okay, so for this photo, I grabbed, because it was photobombing, I have a camera. This is from, let's see, I pulled it aside, but it's in my mess right now. I believe it's Hipster from Basic Grey, but I'll double check that for you too. This is a strip from October Afternoon, and it just has kind of like play, enjoy the sunshine, laugh, those kinds of things. And I have this little chipboard arrow from Teresa Collins, and it just has the days of the week, which I thought might work in the corner. And then I have this one from the Basic Grey, Knee Highs and Bow Ties, and it's a transparent title. It just says Keep It Real, which pretty much is what they're doing. So I like this, but I think the stripe is not at all the right color scheme. I think I can get away with the letters being those colors, but not this striped border. So I'm going to try trimming this off. I may hate this, I'm not sure, but we will shortly find out. So I'm just going to trim this border off. I'm going to have to check. I'm pretty sure that there's a little plastic layer on top of these yet too, which now that I'm trimming may not be so easy to grab, but okay, so let me just quickly check. Yep. Okay, so there is a clear plastic on what would be the front. So, okay. So now I'm thinking that blends a lot better. So I think I'm just going to do like kind of a collage of pieces that just kind of speak to like the randomness of my life. Okay, and I'm going to need to find a paper for that one. So let's see. I don't want something too bright just because all of the elements on there are bright and busy, and I'd rather ground that with something a little more crafty or plain. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm going to try that one from the Pier collection. Actually, I'm going to do this one. The craft with the dots, it's pretty basic and shouldn't be, whoa, too distracting. Oh dear. Okay, now we're good. Okay, so I'm going to trim that down later. Okay. Alright, so this is trimmed to size now, so I'm going to start just gluing my things down. I'm going to do both my photos together, just so I can make sure that I get them somewhat centered. Sorry, excuse me. Okay. This was the card that I had the least idea of what I was doing, which obviously shows. Okay, I'm going to move these up because I think I like that word strip at the bottom. And then I have a little bit more room for it, so I'll do that. Tack that down. Okay, so I've been rambling, so I'm going to try to wrap this up. This does not show up well, and I could back it on white, but I'm not 100% sure that I love it for this photo. What I probably will do is I'll probably stick a label in that corner instead. So I'm going to leave this out for now. I'm going to take everything to my sewing machine. Oh, wait, this one. Okay, I think what I'm going to end up doing is just use this and trim it off here. Okay, so now I'm going to adhere that. I'm going to go to my sewing machine and add my journaling, and I will stamp these two things on a piece of paper and probably layer them on here, but I will come back and show you that when we're done. Okay, let's wrap this up. So I added my journaling and my stitching. This card changed drastically. I was not liking how what I had planned was working with the size of the photos. So in the end, it just has a simple title with the Amy Tangerine Wish stickers for that. This empty space up at the top, I just added some messy stitching to fill that in because it felt like I needed to have something there, but it wasn't working. Pretty much everything else stayed as it was. White stitching everywhere except I underlined this text with the red stitching. Yeah, and I think that's it. So again, the challenge this week is for you to use vellum, and I can't wait to see how you tackle that. But yeah, thank you for joining me, and have a great Saturday.